Hey everyone, what is going on, and welcome back to another video. And it is a Sunday, so we're jumping into another operator guide. Now, I've been doing these operator guides for a very long time now, and you guys have been really enjoying them. Majority of them have nearly over 1,000 views, which is pretty good. So I thank all of you guys for watching these videos, and let's keep it up. So today we're going to be diving into Doc. Doc was the clear winner of the last video with 82 likes on him, Mute coming in second with 34, and Capital with 27. So that was pretty good voting, but Doc was obviously the clear winner. Now, as you guys know, the voting system works as I will put 3 comments down in the comment section below as soon as this video goes live. They will all be liked by me, and it's going to have the list of 3 operators down there, and you have to go like the comment that you want to see in the next week's video. And saying that, next week's operators are going to be Thermite, Smoke, and Twitch. So go down in the comment section down below and vote for whoever you want to see in next week's video. And other than that, we're good to jump into the video. So as always, we're going to be starting off with the weapon review, then we're going to be moving on to gadget utilization, and then we're going to be finishing off with operator strategies. So obviously to start it off, let's jump into the weapon review. Now, I'm sure as many of you know, Doc is loaded with 3 primary weapons. His main and most used primary weapon is the MP5. The MP5 comes in at 27 damage a shot on 800 rounds per minute, and is one of the few weapons on defense that actually has access to an ACOG sight. And having this ACOG sight makes Doc an absolute beast to use on defense, along with the sheer power of the MP5. This makes Doc 10 times better with just the sheer power of his weapons. The power that this brings to the defensive side is honestly really just great, and it shouldn't be underestimated at all. Doc is just a great operator to play in terms of ability and guns, and the MP5 is one of the main reasons that his guns and loadout are so good. Now, jumping into his second primary, it is obviously the P90. The P90 is his bigger magazine alternative, which has a little bit more recoil, and it's definitely not preferred over the MP5 by most, but it's definitely still there, and it's not a horrible weapon. It's just kind of beaten by the MP5. P90 comes in at 22 damage, but it has 970 rounds per minute, which does kind of pick up for that a little bit less damage than the MP5 with the increased fire rate. And the main thing about the P90 is the fact that it holds 50 bullets, and that is the main thing that makes it more versatile. If you prefer to spray more, the P90 is definitely your option to bring when you're playing Doc. But in my opinion, I definitely recommend you bring the MP5. It is 10 times better, and you should definitely use it. And his third option is the CG-CQB shotgun. Now, do not underestimate this shotgun. Obviously, in the shadow of the MP5, it's kind of forgotten about. But this shotgun can really hurt people, and it's definitely got power on it. It's actually really powerful. This thing isn't really to be taken for granted, but yes, obviously in a ranked game I recommend you use the MP5 just because it's a ranked game. But this shotgun is actually really good, and I mean, if you're a shotgun player, you can definitely use this shotgun. But I mean, there's a lot of this game's more of range, and shotguns aren't the best for long gunfights. Obviously, you're just going to get cucked, and his secondaries aren't like an SMG to kind of make up for the shotgun bringing. So I recommend you play the MP5. But this shotgun is actually pretty powerful, and you definitely shouldn't underestimate it. Now, diving into his secondaries, one of his first secondaries is the P9. It does 45 damage a shot on whatever trigger finger you have. This gun is actually really good, and I think it is the best secondary out of Doc over the Magnum, just because of its sheer, like, it's better. It shoots faster. It's more like the Magnum does more damage, but I think this is just better for finishing off kills and actually winning gunfights, because the Magnum kind of has a slow fire rate. And obviously the other weapon is the LFP 586, otherwise known as the Magnum revolver, whatever you want to call it. This does 78 damage a shot, so this will kill you in 2 shots if you hit your shots. And it's obviously got a trigger finger, but it does have a little bit of a cuck reload that you have to go through before you can spray. Both of these secondaries are honestly great to pair with the MP5 or the P90 or the SG, but it's just depending on what you really want to bring, and I definitely recommend my personal loadout would be the MP5 and the P9. Now, in terms of gadgets in his loadout, he's packed with the bulletproof and the barbed wire. Both of these are useful, it just depends on what you need. If you need a bulletproof, Doc's your man. Barbed wire isn't necessary on everyone, and barbed wire can definitely be helpful, but I think the bulletproof can also be helpful depending on what you need and what your team needs to bring to the table. And that's about all I have to say about his weapons, and now we're going to dive into the gadget review. Now, obviously, Doc's gadget is the Stim Pistol. Everyone knows this. The Stim Pistol is a healing stim that you can shoot at your teammates, which heals 40 health, depending on... And he has 3 of these shots in the pistol, unless he dies and obviously can't get them off. This gadget is very useful. He is the only defender that can do anything like this, and Finker is the only person that comes close to him on attack, and she only does 20 damage boost, and it's not even permanent. Doc is really useful in that term, and the fact that he can heal your teammates is just really helpful, and it will definitely help you out in the long term. But when it comes to Doc, my personal opinion is if you're playing Doc, you should be anchoring, due to the fact that this gadget is more of a help your team gadget. If you would like to spawn peek, that is understandable. The ACOG is there and it's definitely available to use for a spawn peek. But in my opinion, if you're going to be spawn peeking, you should be playing Rook. I say this because Rook's gadget is the Rook armor. You can put that down when the round starts and then your gadget has no more use anymore because you've already deployed it to your team. So if you die off a spawn peek, it's definitely not a disadvantage. If you die off a spawn peek with Doc, with 3 Docs still in your hand, that's a waste of an operator, and I think that really it's just a useless pick. You died straight away and you didn't do anything to help the team. With Rook, you gave everyone Rook armor, so even if you die straight away, which still isn't useful, it helps your team benefit because you gave them Rook. So I think you should be mixing that and just thinking about that if you are going to spawn peek with Doc. Just think about the gadget utilization and think about what I'm trying to tell you. But that's my opinion. The Stim Pistol is a great gadget. I don't really know how I can explain it. It's pretty straightforward. You shoot it at a teammate if they need health, or you can inject it into yourself when you are injured or need more health yourself. And just a quick thing to say, if you need the health, give yourself the health. You obviously are playing Doc. You don't have to be obliged to give your teammate health just so you can stay low. So definitely don't just take that advantage. Try to save at least one for the teammates, but if you need to use the stims, use the stims. No one's going to get angry at you about it. There may be a few toxic people who'd be like, why would you waste them? But in the end, if you got a kill, you use them for a good cause. Now we're going to be jumping into the operator strategies. This is the final section of the video where I tell you how you should play Doc. Now Doc is obviously a 1-speed operator, which means I should be telling you to anchor, but Doc can be a good roamer if I'm going to be real. Having those ACOG capabilities can make Doc a great roamer, and as you guys probably see in the games you play, not a lot of people do roam with Doc. It's not like they're anchoring all the time. Doc is definitely someone that you have to worry about off-site a lot. It can be dodgy because obviously he's loud, he's 3 armor, so all you'll hear is just him lurking around if you have a good headset. But still, a lot of people do choose to play Doc just because of his sheer power of his gun and the ability you can use to play long range while roaming. But I definitely recommend that the best playstyle with Doc is to obviously anchor. Anchoring with Doc should be the prime way. Obviously, I said this before, he is a 3 armor. 3 armors are made to be anchors. Doc can stay on the objective, and if his teammates are roaming and they need stims, they come back to objective in a safe haven and they get the stims. Obviously, if objective's getting pushed, it's not a safe haven, but you know what I mean. And Doc playing an anchor is definitely more viable to the team because you can hold those long angles on objectives that other people just can't hold because you have that ACOG. That ACOG can definitely be useful in a lot of situations. It will help your aim and it will just help your everything, and it might not. Some people don't like ACOG, that's understandable. You can use whatever site you want, it depends on what you prefer. But in my opinion, utilizing that ACOG on defense is definitely a positive to bring to your team, and it will definitely help you out in the long term if you are in late game situation and you need that rain. But all in all, you can really play Doc either way, but definitely don't waste Doc. Like if you're going to roam, just maybe consider playing Rook, or if you're a good roamer, just maybe try and frag 1 and rotate back to the objective just so you don't waste that ability, because that ability is very useful. You just have to stay alive to be able to use it. That is one of my #1 picks with Doc. If you're going to roam, you have to make sure you can come back. Don't get too cocky, don't pick stupid gunfights. Try and come back as much, give yourself the best chance to come back to the objective to utilize those Doc. But I definitely recommend if you are playing Doc, you should anchor unless you are a crackhead who's going to shit on everyone. That is my personal opinion. Obviously, the clips in the background, there's probably a lot of roaming of me. That's because it's casual and I'm just trying to provide more enjoying gameplay in the background where it's me getting kills, not just me anchoring for 2 minutes and then getting a few kills at the end. In a competitive playstyle, I would definitely focus more on holding the objective with Doc. That's how I like to play Doc. I honestly, if I'm going to go for a spawn peek, which is very rarely, I don't use Doc or an ACOG. I try to do runouts instead and catch them off guard with a 2-speed or a 3-speed. But all in all, just play Doc however you would like. Operator strategies is more personal preference, but I definitely recommend you anchor if you can. That's about all I have to say for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Doc is a great operator, and I hope you guys can learn from this and play better Doc. Now make sure to go vote in the comment section down below whether you want Thermite, Smoke, or Twitch. Make sure to go vote down below. And other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace!